Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Farzy Show. My name is Mark Farzetta here from the Steven Singer Studio. Happy football season, everybody! Eagles kick off on Sunday. Bills and Rams kick off on Thursday. Happy football season. Phillies suck, but it's Eagles season now, baby. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. And I know I wasn't really able to lean into the Phillies yesterday morning, being that I was still on a little vacation. Hope everyone enjoyed their Labor Day weekend. But, we're going to put the Phillies over our knee today, and we are going to spank them for the horrible road trip that they had and the misery that they put all of us through, because we had thought that, that whole thing, maybe I was alone. Maybe I was alone. Maybe it was just me. Maybe I was inspiring false hope. Maybe I was inspiring too much optimism by making the, I thought, rather tame, not at all bold prediction that the Phillies have put behind them playing down to teams that are well below them in the standings. And apparently the Phillies said, hey, hold your horses there, Mark. We're not done with that quite yet, because we are going to lose 2 of 3 to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then we are going to get swept by the San Francisco Giants. So, no, we're not done playing down to your opponents, like we used to do against the Marlins. And who do the Phillies face next? The Marlins. Great. So let's hope that they don't revert back to their old ways of playing down to their opponents, especially those within the division, like the Miami Marlins. But that was a god-awful road trip. But hey, it's Eagles season! We'll talk about that, including one story I read over the weekend that was absolutely amazing, because it invokes a name that we don't often think about in Philadelphia. It invokes a name that we don't often think about in Philadelphia. It's one that we'd actually like to forget, but it deals with 2 things. 1, the name we want to forget, and 2, a name that we hope will be a star of the Eagles defense in the upcoming season. We'll get to that. But let's start it off with those Philadelphia Phillies, just to get that out of my system, because it's what is hanging over my ugly head. This is what we got. Phillies are right now still in the wild card spot. They're still 2 games up on the Brewers, who are trying to knock on that door, or at least knocking on that door of the Phillies and the Padres, who occupy the second and third wild card spot. Right now, the Phillies and Padres are tied in the wild card spot, with the Phillies having a bit of an edge, having 1 less victory and 1 less loss than the San Diego Padres. But as it goes right now, your wild card teams still are the Braves, the Phillies, and the Padres. So let's just keep that in mind. And again, I just said I don't want to inspire too much optimism. I don't want to inspire too much belief in the Phillies after this last weekend, and maybe I was making that mistake going into this road trip. But I still believe the Phillies are making the playoffs. Is it September? Oh, it's September. Have the Phillies blown our socks off in September? No, they have not blown our socks off in September. They definitely give us the fear of a possible September collapse. It's still in the back of my brain here. The way they've started off the month of September, it's moving closer to the front of my brain right now. But I still believe this team is making the playoffs. But let's call it what it is. Abysmal. Losing 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks, no excuses. You can maybe chalk up the idea, you're not going to win them all. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to win every series. You right the ship in San Francisco. They got swept in San Francisco. They looked like a minor league ball club in the first game of this series. When the other team has to pitch a position player because they're up by so much in the 9th inning, you really haven't done your job as a ball club. And that's exactly what took place in that first game. A 13-1 loss. You follow it up on Saturday with a 5-4 loss. At least they showed some fight. And then on Sunday, JT Realmuto tries to save the day with a 3-run home run and just couldn't do that. Saturday, defensively speaking, was just a piss-poor game by the Phillies. Absolute dreadful. Noah Syndergaard throwing a ball away at first. The Giants try to return the favor. Phillies, they capitalize on that by at least scoring a run. But really, they were all over the place. You have Rhys Hoskins making an error at first base, not being able to field a ground ball. Gene Segura gets a double play ball hit to him in second base. he's unable to turn two and help yourself get out of the inning. Instead, they get a run to across the plate. It was just mind-numbing plays, defensively speaking, by the Phillies. They bounced back a little bit with it on Sunday to cap off the long weekend, but it was just their heads leaving their shoulders throughout this series against the Giants. And possibly the biggest problem throughout this 6-game road trip was not being able to stop the free passes Phillies pitchers were giving. And that's from starting pitching to the bullpen. And probably the most guilty of all of it was Ranger Suarez, who in the third inning of both his starts on this road trip just lost it. In the fourth inning of both starts that he had on this road trip, just lost it. Lost the strike zone, lost all control. I don't know what happened to him going through the lineup again, but that second time through tortured Ranger Suarez throughout this road trip. And that's something you can't have one of the guys that's been one of your best pitchers over the last 3 months of the season carry into September. You can't start September like that. And then you go to the bullpen. And Christopher Sanchez, I don't know what has got in it, but the Phillies saw something in him. They brought him up from the minors, and he has not been able to throw strikes. We talked about his his appearance against the Diamondbacks. 15 of his 30 pitches were called balls. They were all outside the strike zone. We talked about that. In this appearance, that he had against the San Francisco Giants, same type of thing. Walking in runs in a tight ball game. You're talking about a 5-4 ball game. That is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And then yesterday, you see a lot of the same things. You just see a lot of the same things. Sunday, you see a lot of the same things with guys just not being able to control the strike zone. And it was just dreadful. This isn't the Phillies team that I expected to see in September. I expected them to really hit the ground running, and they would have the series. We all talked about the schedule. And whenever we talk about the schedule, they got an easier schedule. No matter what sport, your schedule is really easy after that. Hey, man, you can lose to anybody. Your starting pitcher can lose a strike zone. Your bullpen can lose a strike zone. David Robertson all of a sudden pitching a second, going out for the 9th inning when you got other arms in the bullpen. And after the game, Rob Thompson's talking about how that was the last bat. Flores was the last batter that Robertson was going to be facing, and then they're going to bring in maybe Alvarado after that. Yeah, no kidding, it was the last batter because he walked it off yesterday or Sunday. Jeez. It was mismanaged. It was misplayed. Bats went cold when they shouldn't have went cold. It was just you could blame a little thing every single series, but I think the most consistent thing every single game through these 2 series on the road was the way this team pitched. From issuing the walks, from not getting big strikeouts in big situations, and then Rob Thompson having David Robertson go out for a second inning after he just worked himself out of a jam in the 8th inning. 34 pitches, I believe, is what he went out at when that game ended. If I'm seeing my guy struggle, who hadn't pitched for 4 days, like I was watching Robertson struggle in that 8th inning and was quite frankly lucky to get out of it in that 8th inning, I'm not trying him out there in the 9th inning. I don't know. We got out of that one. Let me not push my luck today and get Robertson out of that game. Instead, left him in. Next thing you know, he's walking it off with a 2-run home run. Phillies lose all 3 games in this 3-game series in San Francisco. I know I poke fun at Gabe Kapler and I have fun with Gabe Kapler and all that stuff. I don't mind. It doesn't get my goat like it gets some other people when losing to Gabe. I don't care. The guy was not significant enough to me as far as I'm concerned as a Phillies manager. It was like he was here. His stint here was like a blip in the radar, and the Phillies moved on. It was so beyond clear to me that it wasn't going to work here in Philadelphia that I was, all right, yeah, that's fine. Move on with Gabe Kapler. I don't care if he wins 10 World Series somewhere else. It wasn't going to work here in Philadelphia. It doesn't bother me like it bothers other people. I know that there's a big headline, lose to Kapler or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't. That to me has nothing to do with it. I got bigger problems than that. I got a Phillies pitching staff who can't throw strikes. I got bats that are wildly inconsistent. And most importantly, above all else, all those things are adding up to the idea of another horrible September for the Philadelphia Phillies. One that, yes, right now they're in the wild card spot. And yes, I do believe they're going to make the playoffs. But I don't know that they're going to do that. I'm not betting the house that they're going to do it. Being 2 games up early in September, that's not enough for me. And now you got the Marlins on your plate. You're back at home. You got Aaron Nola, who's coming off a dreadful start, going for you as well. if you're going to right the ship, this is obviously the time to do that. Here's Rob Thompson after the series against the San Francisco Giants and what the Phillies need to do going forward and kind of how he takes in a 1-5 road trip.
We just happened to run into a couple teams that were grinding on us a little bit. Just get back home, have a good off day. Off days are funny because sometimes they come at a bad time and sometimes they come at a good time. It's probably a good time to have an off day. It's been a frustrating week, but it's just 1 week. Now we start a new week on Tuesday, and after an off day, and we got Nola going, and we just got to get back to our winning ways.
Well, I hate to go Cliff Lee on you, but one of the lasting impressions Cliff Lee made on me was that's baseball. That's baseball. And it's funny because my dad would always tell me that growing up if I was playing baseball and I wasn't a very good baseball player. But Dad, I did go 2 for 3 one day and 0 for 5 the next, whatever. He's like, Mark, that's baseball. That's baseball. Cliff Lee said that a lot whenever he had a bad start. Even if he had a great start, he got no runs for it. Hey, that's baseball. I know that the Phillies are quite capable of playing down to their opponents. I thought they had put that in the rearview mirror. But as it turns out, losing to teams that are well below you in the standings, well, that's baseball. And take a look at it one more time here at the NL WildCard race. Oh, who's down there at the bottom of that list right there? Okay, these teams here, these 6 teams. Oh, it's the Diamondbacks. 8 games out of a wild card spot. It's the Giants, 7.5 games out. Oh, that's funny. Isn't that crazy? They're all the way down there, but the Phillies are all the way up there, in a wild card spot. Why do they lose? How do they lose to these teams? Well, you issue free passes. You don't come up with clutch hitting, although JT Realmuto, like I said, trying to save the day. The wheels just absolutely came off. And the thing that really was stunning, and hat tip to Matt Gelb of The Athletic, starters went on average in these 6 games. Your starting pitchers went on average 4 innings per game. 4 innings per game. That ain't going to get it done. And Griff McGarry, by the way, going to the bullpen, that ain't the answer either. In case you missed it, the Phillies, one of their pitching prospects, who's got a great name, I might want to add that, Griff McGarry is being moved as a starting pitcher to the bullpen, and he's going to try to alleviate the Phillies' bullpen issues. So there's that. Now, Rob Thompson there, he's not exactly a fiery guy, at least not one that we see. One of the things that we gave credit to Rob Thompson for is allowing this team to belong to the players again. Having the Phillies players have ownership of this, of their wins and losses, hold themselves accountable and all that. So I expect that to be Rob Thompson's demeanor. Well, it's a bad week, but it's 1 week, and we got the rest of September, and, we got Nola going, and all right, hoorah. Okay. So what's a guy like Bryce Harper going to do? What's a guy like Rhys Hoskins do? Guys that are looked at in this team as leaders, guys that are looked at in this team to hopefully spark some kind of fire for the rest of this month. What are they going to do? And I'm not talking about some rah-rah speech in the locker room. I'm not talking about flipping over a table. I'm talking about going out there on the baseball field and performing at the level we know they can perform at. And doing that game 1 against the Marlins. Make us feel a lot better. Because watching these last 6 games of Phillies baseball has made me just think to myself, you know what? Are you done? Have you gotten these walks out of your system? Have you gotten, bases loaded, no outs, or leadoff triples, and not being able to plate that runner? Have you gotten that out of your system? I'd sure as hell hope so. And I feel like I'm looking at a toddler and be like, are you done? Are you done? Are you done painting my wall? Are you done taking your finger paints, just putting your handprints all over? Are you done? Is that out of your system now? Okay. Your ranting and raving's over. Your losing ways are over. Let's get back to what made you, at least right now, a wild card team. Let's start mashing a little bit more. Let's get Aaron Nola up and running again. Zach Wheeler, cross your fingers. He's back sooner rather than later. Bailey Falter has been like your best pitcher over the last 2 weeks. Like that's not exactly a good thing. He's pitched great. I give him all the credit in the world. Good for him. He's settled into that role nicely. But can we get the rest of these arms going? Because an average of 4 innings per start over 6 games is dreadful. And that's not exactly going to help your bullpen either. Absolutely piss poor. There's a couple of things from Sunday's game. Oh, Rodon. Yeah, really glad the Phillies didn't trade for that guy. That's great. Yeah. Oh, that's what. Oh, good Lord. Schwarber is the guy I'm talking about. Led off with a triple on Saturday in the 5-4 loss. That's JT Realmuto's home run. Schwarber leads off with a triple. Hoskins strikes out. Middle of the order. Hoskins strikes out. Bohm grounds out. Harper walked, and then JT struck out. Couldn't even plate that runner. We're all having fun here. We're all having fun. Phillies, Marlins, 6:45 start time today, huh? There we go. Phillies, Marlins get it underway. Tonight, 6:45. Love those 6:45 start times. Let's hope the Phillies bounce right back. And yes, Aaron Nola will be on the hill tonight. It is Eagles season, ladies and gentlemen. And first off, thank you to everyone that reached out and loved SkyDrive with Avante Maddox. Jim Hyden produced it, did a phenomenal job, of course. And my thanks to Brett over at Sky Motorcars, longtime sponsor of the Farzy Show. And my thanks to Avante Maddox, who was just an awesome guest. If you haven't checked it out, I'll be tweeting it out again after today's show. Yesterday was kind of the soft open, if you will, to use a restaurant term. It's about a 28-minute episode. And Avante Maddox was I thought, phenomenal guest. He was a lot of fun, very energetic, honest answers. Talked about, I thought this is really interesting. There's a couple of instances for people that haven't seen the show yet. A couple of things he said that just made me go, I'm sorry, what? Like, did I hear that correctly? The first thing he said was when he referred to Jonathan Gannon as a mastermind. Okay. All right, interesting. And then when I asked him about playing Carson Wentz twice this season, his former quarterback, Avante Maddox said, I kind of miss Carson. And I was like, what? I don't hear that from anybody. Well, all we hear about Carson Wentz as far as a teammate, it wasn't a very great teammate, apparently. Wasn't the best guy. Alpha maleness took over in a lot of instances with Carson Wentz. But Avante Maddox right here saying, man, I miss that guy. I want his jersey. When we play the Commanders, I'm going to try to get his jersey after the game. And then, of course, said it's probably going to go to his former roommate. It's probably going to go to Avante Maddox's former roommate, Dallas Goedert, because he and Carson were also boys. Avante also went hunting for goose at one point with Carson Wentz. So apparently they were tight. That's two things I don't think about too much. But Avante is excited about this upcoming season, as you would expect, and he's excited about the new additions to the team. Apparently, Jordan Davis is even more nimble on his feet than I originally thought. Apparently, Jordan Davis can go to their mini basketball hoop in their weight room and do 360 windmill dunks. That's pretty athletic for a big man. Even on I don't know if it's a Fisher-Price rim or whatever it is. Whatever it is, the guy's got like a ballerina on them feet. But really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. Thanks again to Sky Motorcars. Thanks to Avante Maddox. Make sure you guys check that out here on the Farzy YouTube channel and enjoy the conversation, because I sure as heck did. But the Eagles start their season on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. And there was one story that jumped out to me over the weekend that I thought was really incredible. And I believe it was from Dave Zangaro on NBC Sports Philly. And he wrote about Hassan Reddick and how Hassan Reddick had to go to a name here in Philadelphia that we don't exactly hold in high regard. Hassan Reddick, when he was in Arizona, was struggling. And he didn't know exactly where his place was on the Arizona defense. And he was thinking to himself, they're moving me on the inside. I want to go back to edge rusher. And he's not really sure how to handle that transition with his coaching staff. He doesn't want to be a prima donna. You know, they always say it doesn't hurt to ask. Well, that's BS. That might be the biggest lie we tell ourselves. It doesn't hurt to ask. Oh, it can hurt to ask, especially if you're struggling and you go to somebody in authority and you're like, maybe if you do this with me, we'll have more time. Oh, we got this guy over here who doesn't want to do his job. No. Oh, I thought it didn't hurt to ask. Oh, it hurts to ask. Hassan Reddick pushes that aside and goes up to who? Billy Davis. Yes. Former defensive coordinator of the Chip Kelly era here in Philadelphia. Mr. 3-4 under himself. I've invoked his name from time to time when describing what we could see in the upcoming season, just stylistically, schematically, scheme-wise with this Eagles defense and Jonathan Gannon. I've invoked Billy Davis's name, and I felt dirty doing it. But Hassan Reddick comes out, and he tells Dave Zingaro, yeah, I wasn't sure of my place. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I went up to Billy Davis, and I said, hey, how about moving me back to edge rusher? How about putting me in that position? How about giving me the opportunity to play on the outside and go after the quarterback? Because I'm at my best when I'm playing fast. I reference that quote from Hassan Reddick as well. I'm better when I'm being aggressive. So what does he do? Billy Davis says, yeah, son, go to the outside and let's see what happens. What's he have? 24 sacks over the last 2 seasons? That's pretty damn good. That wouldn't be the guy that we've been looking forward to getting here in Philadelphia unless that is what he did. He went up to Billy Davis and said, how about this? He goes out there, 12 and a half sacks 2 years ago, 11 sacks last year. A first-round pick, not living up to his potential. Goes to a position where he feels a lot more comfortable, isn't afraid to ask, coaching staff open-minded enough to consider it and go, yeah, you know what, let's give it a shot. And there we are. 23 and a half sacks over the last 2 seasons, and now that's what he's bringing in here to Philadelphia. Of all the people, I never thought Billy Davis's name would come up in that regard again, but boy, did it. Hassan Reddick is one of the most important pieces to this to this Jonathan Gannon defense, and a lot of it's thanks to Billy Davis. Never thought I'd say it, but here we are. We all want to see a more aggressive defense. We all want that defense that other offenses or the offenses are scared to come in and play. That's what we want. Ultimately speaking, we didn't see that at all last year. We saw a real caged Fletcher Cox. I'll use that term. We saw a guy that wasn't able to go after the quarterback, wasn't allowed to go after the quarterback. By his own admission, wasn't allowed to go in after the quarterback. We saw a defense that was missing one of their best pass rushers in Brandon Graham for the vast majority of the season. We saw a guy like Josh Sweat start to come out of his own a little bit, but when it comes to pressure, that was the guy that probably broke out the most last year. So now that you have 2 pretty damn good corners that might be able to buy an extra second and allow a little bit more pressure, a little bit more time for that defensive line, or maybe even your linebackers to get after the quarterback, maybe even a guy like Hassan Reddick to get after the quarterback as well. Now that he got some pretty good linebackers in there, and once again, a well-stocked defensive line, as I've said many times over, I think just by accident, just by winning one-on-one battles, this defense is going to at least appear to be more aggressive. This defense will do, I think, a better job than one of the worst turnover rates in all of the NFL last year. I think they'll do a better job of that, and a lot of that will be good. Hey, look, they got better players. We always talk about whether or not you know a coach is a good coach or not. Oh, well, you need players. Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? With not exactly a full-blown all-star lineup here, Jonathan Gannon was able to have the 10th fewest yards allowed in the NFL last year, which is nice. But he also made it his number one objective not to allow the big play. That was the number one objective of the Eagles. Don't allow that big play. Let the offense run as many plays as possible. Hopefully they make the mistake. Hopefully they lose a one-on-one battle on the outside and I get a guy blitzing and we can force a fumble. Or I get a guy just rushing and he can cause a fumble. Maybe we'll rush the quarterback into a bad pass and cause an interception. Maybe that's what will happen if we allow the offense to keep running plays. Or, another suggestion is you dial up the blitz here. You force the aggression and you force the mistake. It was one of my biggest pet peeves of the defense last year, particularly when you were playing quarterbacks like Daniel Jones. You could force Daniel Jones into making mistakes. It's not that hard. I didn't see Jonathan Gannon even attempt it last year. Now with better players, and how will Jonathan Gannon execute his scheme with these better players, I think, based off what I've been hearing from inside the Eagles locker room when it comes to Guys talking about being more aggressive when it comes to players wanting to be more aggressive, when it comes to the uptick in talent. Almost by default, this team will at least appear to be more aggressive. Will Jonathan Gannon actually do it on purpose is the question. Will he put guys in a better position to have success? Will a guy like Hassan Reddick be on the edge and just told time to time, not every play by any means, but from time to time told, hey, go get him. This is you. Win your battle, go get the quarterback. Get in the backfield. Will a guy like Jacoby Dean be allowed to do what he did at Georgia a lot of times, which is run right behind Jordan Davis, right up the middle on the defensive aspect of it, and get after that quarterback or get after the running back, get a tackle for loss? Because you're going to see a lot of instances where Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis, if they are just going with a three-down lineman, you're going to see a situation there where Jordan Davis or Fletcher Cox is getting tied up with double coverage in the middle of the field, double teamed in the middle of the field. And you're not going to have those one-on-one battles won at the line of scrimmage. So where your linebackers coming in, guys like TJ Edwards, guys like Jacoby Dean that we've talked about, both being on the field at the same time, both middle linebackers in the scenario, are they going to be allowed? Are they going to be let loose to go after the quarterback? Are they going to be able to get those tackle for losses when they're trying to run out of the backfield as well? That's what I'm going to be looking at for the upcoming season. And it's really going to come down to what type of adjustment I'm going to see from Jonathan Gannon. Is he just going to be the same type of passive defensive coordinator that we saw throughout the majority of last year and just let his players win one-on-one battles, and that'll be his version of getting after the quarterback and being aggressive? Or are we going to see him actually dial that up more? Because I think with the personnel you have, and if the Eagles didn't go out there and get a guy like C.D. Deuce, if the Eagles didn't go out there and get James Bradbury, if the Eagles didn't have these guys in coverage, I wouldn't be saying be more aggressive. But the fact that they addressed both issues by bringing in Hassan Reddick, who'll be playing close to the line of scrimmage, by bringing in Jacoby Dean, and then also by bringing in James Bradbury and already having Darius Slay and then having as your safety valve C.D. Deuce, I think you could say being aggressive at the line of scrimmage isn't going to burn you nearly as much as it would have last year. All these things have to come together for your defense to be more aggressive, and let's just hope that it starts on Sunday. I need that wind. I need to be picked up a little bit. And hopefully we see that come Sunday against the Lions when the Eagles kick off their season. Can't be more excited about that. I'm looking down at the chat already. Yes, Jason Peters is a member of the Cowboys. I see April and Sean talking about it. I'm sure some other people did as well. That didn't bother me as much. The weird thing was with Andre Diller's injury, it's like, should the Eagles have considered bringing back Jason Peters? Everyone on this team loves him. Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Isaac Seumalo, everyone loves the bodyguard. I don't mind that he's with the Cowboys. I don't think he had a particularly great go of it with the Bears last year, but he's down there in Dallas right now, and he'll be playing left tackle most likely for the Dallas Cowboys when they're getting their season started against Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday as well. Yee! It's going to look weird. One thing did pass through my mind, and that was stories of Harold Carmichael, Randall Cunningham, just to name a few. Tommy McDonald, was he one of them as well? Yeah. Of guys that wore the Eagle green for a long time and then put on that Cowboys jersey and looked in the mirror and went, ugh, I don't know about that. There's a story from Eagles Hall of Famer and Pro Football Hall of Famer, Harold Carmichael. There's a story about him taking the field in Dallas, and on his way to the field, he got a glimpse of himself in the mirror wearing a Cowboys jersey. And he just went, ugh, and then retired. I talked to Harold Carmichael about it. He goes, it didn't exactly happen like that, but kind of. And I'm like, all right, don't let the facts get in the way of a great story. I was kind of hoping that Jason Peters, when I saw the report that Jason Kelsey was going to go, or excuse me, Jason Peters, God forbid, that Jason Peters was going to go down there and at least work out for the Cowboys. I was like, oh, maybe he'll think it just doesn't look right. Yeah, no. Oh, was that a contract with money? Sign. Barrett Brooks talked about how he wouldn't play with Dallas. Seth Joyner talked about how he wouldn't do it. My old friend Hugh Douglas talked about it. He wouldn't do it. There's been Hollis Thomas has talked about how he wouldn't do it. Like, play for the Cowboys. Like, thanks, but no thanks, man. Can't do it. Can't don that jersey. Can't don that star. James Peters, apparently no problem. Smiling, signing that contract. All right. 40 years old. Have at it, BG. Have at it, Josh Sweat. Have at it, Hassan Reddick. Get around that edge. Oh, boy. Let me tell you about my man, Steven Singer. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut right here in Philadelphia. For over 40 years, Steven has been in the love business in Philadelphia, helping people fall in love and get engaged. I hate Steven Singer. IHateStevenSinger.com. Driving back up 95 from Virginia, the I Hate Steven Singer billboards always laugh. Always laugh. Steven wants to help people in Philadelphia get engaged. Ready for love diamond engagement rings. And, of course, for every special occasion, he always has them beautiful gold-dipped roses dipped in 24-karat gold. If you're looking to get proposed this fall, Steven Singer Jewelers. Hey, is your girl, fellas? Is your girl one of them like fall maniacs? She loves fall. Thinking about getting proposed this fall? Steven Singer, ready for love diamond engagement rings, and also real beautiful diamond jewelry available at Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price each and every day, where a real jewelry expert will walk you through all their beautiful inventory. Go to IHateStevenSinger.com, see what's available. And also go down to I Hate Steven Singer. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Also fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. One place, one price, the perfect price each and every day at IHateStevenSinger.com. How about Manscaped? Gentlemen, you want to look good everywhere, right? Well, that's where Manscaped enters the conversation with their biggest ultimate hygiene bundle yet, the Platinum Package 4.0. It includes a lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, weed whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and it all comes with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. Plus, the ultra-premium body wash 2-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, crop preserver, anti-chafing ball deodorant, crop reviver, anti-chafing ball spray toner, anti-chafing boxers, the Shed travel bag to hold all the goods. Yeah, I love a nice travel bag. To hold all the goods that you'll be using to take care of your goods from Manscaped. Manscaped is the leader in below-the-waist grooming, and now you can trust them with the whole shebang. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Farzy. That's promo code Farzy at manscaped.com for 20% off your order. How about Freestone Farm CBD? FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off your Freestone Farm CBD order. Their menu's insane, by the way. Their tropical tasting Bayox that clocks in at a chart-topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Genetics of these guys are off the charts. They also grow all their premium hemp flower in the Garden State with all organic inputs and IPM. There's absolutely nothing synthetic from farm to jar. And after harvest, they carefully preserve all the plant compounds for a perfect 3-month cure. Just one look or smell, and it's enough to know that it's CBD done right. So go to Freestone Farm CBD. That's FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off your order. How about PHL Sports Nation? Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let me tell you about Blue Chew. By now you heard of Blue Chew, but if you haven't, check out BlueChew.com. Use promo code Farzy. Get your first month for free. Just pay $5 shipping at BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is an online prescription service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men combat all forms of ED. And again, Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so there's no embarrassing trips to the doctor or pharmacy as Blue Chew ships right to your home in a discreet package. Here's the Blue Chew process. You sign up at BlueChew.com. You consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days, and it's all done online. Also, Blue Chew's licensed medical providers will work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem. Here, Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are also made right here in the good old US of A, and they prepare and ship direct to your house, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. Once again, here's the special deal for our listeners and our viewers. Go to BlueChew.com. Use promo code Farzy. Get your first month free. Just pay $5 shipping. First month of Blue Chew free when you use promo code Farzy at BlueChew.com. Oh, I have missed you guys. Let's get to the chat check and see how you guys are doing today on this fine morning. Back from your long vacation, your long weekend. Hope you guys got to enjoy it. Oh, and if you didn't see the fish, the fish I caught, beautiful. No more weekends without football. April, congratulations to you. Mally, what's going on? Sean Gillespie, good morning. Cat 60. What's up, Cat 60? Padres lost to the D-backs and Dodgers lost to San Francisco, so these teams are beating the good teams. Those are divisional teams. You never know what's going to happen with divisional opponents, as I say that right in front of playing the Marlins. But you're right. And hey, it goes back to what I was saying. That's baseball. It always happens. I thought the Phillies were putting that behind them. I thought they'd at least win both these series. Thought they'd get one sweep, and said they got swept and lost both these series. Dan, happy rainy Tuesday. Oh, is it going to be raining all day today? Is that the deal? That's no fun for anybody. Always comes down to pitching. We know this. April, you're not wrong. You're absolutely right. Oh, April, you're watching the rest of that episode? Thank you so much. The G-Wagon. Yeah, that was a nice G-Wagon, wasn't it? Cars are so lost on me, but like when you put me at Sky Motor Cars and I'm looking at you saw the Jim Hyder got a great shot with his drone of like the entire warehouse where they got all the cars and all that stuff. It is, you put me next to one of those cars, I'm staring at it, put me in one of those cars, I'm like, wow, this is cool. But like, I'm not generally speaking, a car guy, but put me by some beautiful looking cars and wow. Yeah, I am right there to being a car guy all of a sudden. What's this one do? What kind of engine? A V what? That's a lot of V's. Anyway. Sean Gillespie, Phillies know it's football season and can go back to their September classic ways of losing. Please prove me wrong, Phillies. Sean, I think we're all in that same boat. April, anyone else want to barf? Barfing face emoji from that Jason Peters photo. Sean Gillespie, Jason Peters is temporarily dead to me. Also, Jason Peters, 40 years old. That's amazing. April, make sure you manscape before you take your Blue Chew. Sound advice. Thank you, April. Mihai Sanchez, what's up, brother? I'm just asking for a 4 and 2 week, preferably 5-1 from the Phillies, but might be too much to ask for. The Nats are beating the Mets 7-1 in 2 straight games this weekend. Blue Chew can make manscaping easier. Wow. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty details here, aren't we, folks? But Mihai, you're absolutely right. Looking at the Phillies and their upcoming schedule here, here's what you got on tap. You got the Miami Marlins coming to town for a 3-game series, once again starting tonight. And then shortly after the Marlins, you got the Washington Nationals, and that's before you go on the road to Miami for 3. And then the Braves and the Blue Jays, then the Braves again. I'm kind of thinking September 16th through September 25th. That 10-game stretch. Let's see here. 3, 2, yeah. That 9-game stretch, excuse me. That's going to make or break your season. That is where the season will be won or lost. That's where your wild card spot will be determined. April 16th, or excuse me, September 16th to September 25th. After that, you play the Cubs on the road, you play Washington on the road for four, and then you play Houston on the road for 3 to end your season. But I'm even thinking before that long road trip to end the season, you're really going to know whether or not you're making the playoffs between September 16th and September 24th. Atlanta Braves for 7 games in that stretch, with 2 in the middle there against Toronto at home. That's the tough stretch. We say it in every sport, before that stretch comes, you got to stack those wins. I think we're all going to know for sure not whether this team is a playoff team in that mid-September run. And the Eagles will just be starting their season. Phillies have stayed relevant until September. They have to stay relevant into October now. 2 games up is not enough of a warm and cushy feeling going into the playoffs. I still think this team is going to make the playoffs. But I'd like the warm and fuzzies before we get any further. And I'd like to start tonight against the Miami Marlins. So let's keep our fingers crossed that actually happens. Going back to the chat. All right. Yep, we're gonna keep on going with all that conversation. Let me just say it one more time: BlueChew.com and Manscaped.com have sides working together, according to our chat. Here's one of the things that I know I need to see from the Phillies. I mentioned this earlier in the show, but it's not just the whole playing down to your opponent's thing and kicking that, and hopefully they don't do that coming up here against the Marlins and then coming up against the Nationals. But you got to stack the wins over the next 9 games of the season with these 3 straight 3-game series. You got to stack them wins before you face a team like the Braves, who the Phillies, by the way, at this point in the season are 500 against the Braves on the year, just for the record. But Kyle Schwarber has been probably the Phillies' most not probably, has been the Phillies' most consistent power bat. Bryson Stott, as of late, has absolutely started to turn it on. Alec Boehm needs to get back to what we have seen from him over the last 3 months, for the vast majority of the last 3 months of the season. JT Realmuto needs to do that as well. Keep his bat going. But the 2 guys that we're going to be focused in on the most, I think, are Rhys Hoskins and Bryce Harper. I think those are the 2 biggest leaders in the clubhouse. I've talked about, half kidding, but very much serious at the same time. This is Bryce Harper, not only Bryce Harper's team, but his franchise. Rhys Hoskins is the guy right after him as a leader in the clubhouse. The Phillies have to get him to perform in September. Bryce Harper needs to get as hot as he did last year. Rhys Hoskins needs to get hot. Those 2 guys do that with guys like Realmuto, Stott, and Boehm hitting the baseball. How about Stott's blast over the weekend? Was it Saturday in the McCovey Cove? Yeah, let's get more of that. Gene Segura hitting in this lineup as well. You need the big bats to stay hot. And you need 2 of the biggest bats in the lineup to get hot. And that's Harper and Hoskins. If they don't do that, then you're not going to be seeing playoff baseball. But they need someone to step up and be that consistent bat in this lineup, the guy that they can lean on, the guy that they can absolutely trust to come up with the big swing when they need one. JT Realmuto was that on Sunday. Who else is going to step up and do that consistently? They don't get that guy or those guys, then I'm not feeling good come the end of September, going into the early October there against the Houston Astros in that series on the road in Houston. I'm not feeling good about the Phillies' chances of making the playoffs. Build the lead of the wild card. Make us all feel a lot better. Almost overly confident by the second week of September that this team's going to make the playoffs. But that's where I'm at right now as far as that goes. And you know what? That was the chat check, everybody. I'm going to call it right there. I missed you guys. Thanks to everybody in the chat check. Let's move into the morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. 6:45 start time. All 3 games against the Marlins, 6:45 start time. Aaron Nola getting the ball tonight, looking to bounce back from just a dreadful performance against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We all know how that went. Not exactly a great moment for Aaron Nola, to say the absolute least. Nola will be looking for his 10th win of the season. He goes against Jesus Luzardo of the Miami Marlins, left-handed pitcher, 3.44 ERA, 3-6 on the season, 73 strikeouts in 65 innings of work. Marlins are coming into this series not looking great. Marlins coming into the series fresh off getting swept by the Atlanta Braves, all of which they scored just 1 run in those 3 games against the Atlanta Braves. They're not exactly riding a hot streak right now, as they have lost 7 in a row coming into this series. They lost 3 of 4 to the Dodgers. Got swept in a 2-game series by Tampa Bay, and then got swept by the Atlanta Braves, scoring just 1 run in all 3 games. This is a game that the Phillies absolutely have to win for all our sanity. This is a game that Aaron Nola has to be on point for all our sanity. It's going to be a really long September, even with the Eagles playing, because the Eagles will keep us, warm on the weekends. But then when the Phillies start up, or when the Phillies start to go in the tank, if that's the case Monday through Friday, it's going to be a long week. Week after week after week in September. So we're just hoping that the Phillies are able to turn this around and get things going for themselves in this 3-game series. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because now they got me nervous. I was all sorts of confident going into the weekend, and then not so much. Not so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. That's the Farzy Show, everybody. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. We got the coordinator speaking for the Eagles today at practice as they get ready for their season. So we'll see what they have to say about all things Eagles and what they plan on doing coming up against the Detroit Lions to start the season. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by our friends over there at Steven Singer Jewelers. Jim Hyden produced the program, did a wonderful job. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. We got Sky Drive, ladies and gentlemen, with Avante Maddox. Make sure you guys check that out on our YouTube channel. Feel free to share across all social media as well. And tell us what you think of our first episode of Sky Drive. We're hoping to get our next episode with N'Kobe Dean out to you guys on Friday, where we can talk about that and have some fun with that as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. See you.